Hello everybody, how's it going? How you doing? Good to be back again, as it always is. Back to show some records. Went out on a little vinyl dig during the month of October, just last month, and though it's a very small stack, it was such an enjoyable one, so I just want to show it off and give some comments about it. So we're going to start with the band Yes. This is 90125, a record I already own. In fact, I own 2 copies of it. I used American pressing, which was in decent shape and played well. The Japanese pressing with the obi strip, that plays very well. So why would I want to go and get this? Well, it's from the Rhino Reserve series. And when they announced this to be released during the month of October, I was really intrigued by it and wanted a copy of it. The second they said that they were going to release this, I was like, oh yeah, that looks interesting. I want one of these. So when I went out vinyl digging last month, I guess I picked the right store to vinyl dig because they had a copy waiting just for me, and I snatched it up in a heartbeat. I've been hearing good things about this series, the Rhino Reserve series. Let's see what it says here. That it's cut from the analog tapes, so I was thinking this will probably sound really good. So I went in with a lot of faith that I would be happy with it. And this is one of my favorite Yes albums, even though a lot of the old school Yes fans cannot stand this album. It has the Rhino Reserve label on it, so really cool. When I put this on the turntable, oh yeah, it sounds really good. Out of all the 3 copies I have, this will be the 3rd copy of this album from Yes. This is the best sounding one. This sounds really nice. A nice fat bottom deep end for the kick drum, the bass guitar. The mids just blend in really nicely along with some of the high-pitched sounds like cymbals and guitar and voice. Oh, it sounds great. It sounds really good. Like I've said this before, you get a good remix, it's like hearing a classic album for the first time. That's what this was like. I've spun this in its entirety now twice. It's a good time each time. It sounds great. It sounds fantastic. They really beefed up the recording and the sound mix, and it sounds amazing. I sound like such an audiophile nerd when I talk about it, but man, it's that good. It sounds really that good, and I'm so glad I decided to hunt this down and find a copy for myself. This was a great purchase. A great purchase. I wonder if I'll ever listen to my other copies ever again on vinyl, because this one is the go-to copy for this album. It sounds that fantastic, and I love the songs on it. Changes. Obviously, everybody knows Owner of a Lonely Heart. That was a big hit, but all of side 1 on this album to me sounds damn near perfection. Side 2 is pretty strong too, maybe with the exception of one song, but other than that, I mean, it sounds really, really good. I think the last song I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't hate it, but I like all the other songs more. But overall, this is a great listen, especially the way it's mixed on here. It doesn't really say it's remastered, it's just cut from your analog tapes. I know there's a lot of good albums that came out during this Reserve series, and they might be worth looking into as well. All you gotta do is just look for this label here, and you're gonna get a really good sounding record, especially with this. Woo, that was fantastic. That one sounded fantastic. Got me excited. That's how good it sounded. This one's a repress. It's an anniversary pressing, so it's a remaster of a really good 80s album from Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. The album Crush. This is the 40th anniversary pressing. And actually, I like this cover. Once you see the whole thing, it looks really nice. I've always liked this cover. My grandfather was a painter, and he would paint like he was born and raised in Mexico, so he would paint. It would be always of a Mexican village landscape. Those were his paintings, and this sort of reminds me of that. How just the style of the painting. It just reminds me of my grandfather's paintings. That's why I like this cover so much. It just reminds me of what all the paintings my grandfather used to do. It just, even though this is a different setting than this is more of a city setting than a Mexican village setting that my grandpa would do, but the style kind of looks the same. So this always reminded me of my grandfather's paintings. But besides that, this is a great 80s album. OMD is one of my favorite 80s synth pop bands. So this 40th anniversary pressing was kind of a must-have. I didn't get the fancy schmancy clear vinyl collector's edition of this. This is just the old school black vinyl, because that's all they had in the store when I went to go look for this. And I was happy to get that, because this is remastered very well. And it just wakes up the sound. I mean, it sounded good on the 80s record, the old school pressing I have of this. That sounded really good too, but this really sounds amazing. It really does. And I'm a big song of most of the songs on this album. There were some pretty good singles on here, like So in Love. Secret probably is my favorite of the singles, and my favorite song on the album. But one song I love to go to the most is The Native Daughters of the Golden West. Kind of a forgotten song from OMD, but I like it. It's fantastic. So far I've only listened to the remastered album. It comes with a second album, a second record of demos and songs recorded during the sessions that were left off the album. Some 12-inch mixes from back in the day, which I actually do have on 12-inch singles. I have yet to actually spun the extras portion of this set. Let me get that label up right. There we go. So I can't really comment on it too much, because I'm just, every time I pull this album out, I want to listen to the actual album, because that's what I fell in love with. So maybe tonight I will give this second record a spin. But needless to say, this is a good collection if you're an OMD fan. It is really fun listening to this album remastered. And I will soon go nostalgia and listen to the demos and the unreleased tracks and the 12-inch singles mixes. That would be fun. But this is a great package. I do realize there's that clear vinyl edition. Same songs on it, same remix, or remaster I should say. It's just one's clear, one's black. That's the only difference. And once I'm listening to music, I don't really care what color the vinyl is. I'm just in it for the sounds. And some gorgeous sounds on this record. Absolutely gorgeous. Sounds really nice, updated and remastered. I like that. Alright, this is an EP that I'm very glad that I saw in the store and decided to pull the trigger. The Led Zeppelin live EP that came out just recently, actually. Because the vinyl release was the anniversary pressing of Physical Graffiti, and this is the accompanied live EP with that release. There's only 4 songs on this, but man, do they sound good. They sound good. In My Time of Dying, Trample Underfoot makes side A, side B, Sick Again, and Kashmir. Now, Trample Underfoot and Kashmir I had on, and In My Time of Dying, I think Sick Again too. I actually had that on a DVD release of Zeppelin's years back. And I always loved those live versions. Well, it's nice to have those live versions on vinyl now and playing on my system. So glad to have that. So glad. And the Swan Song label is by far the most coolest looking record label out there. It looks so good to have a record with that label on it. That just looks So badass. And these are some great live versions, especially of Kashmir and Trample Underfoot. Extended version, live version of Trample Underfoot. That'll get you dancing. They really groove on that song. And I always love the live version of Kashmir. So In My Time of Dying and Trample Underfoot are taken from live from Earl's Court 1975. Sick Again and Kashmir is taken from Knebworth in 1979. So that's where these recordings come from. They sound fantastic. This was a killer band live. But everybody knows how great Zeppelin is, especially live. And it shows on this live EP. The mix is really good. The live mix is very powerful. Sounds great. And yeah, it'll get you dancing. If not, there's something wrong with your soul. Alright, so that we're glad to buy that Zeppelin one. That's a good one. Alright, here's another record I already had. And I wanted to get this. It's from Ice House. It's Man of Color. Or is it Colors? No, Man of Colors. Excuse me. Now, I have the regular black vinyl. And I also have a very special edition blue vinyl. And now this is a very special edition, limited edition I should say, of yellow vinyl. There's the back of it. In my opinion, this is Ice House's best album. But then again, I haven't heard all of their albums. But it's definitely my favorite. And it came with the original inner sleeve. So, nice photo of the band. And the lyrics and credits and whatever on the back. And like I said, limited edition yellow vinyl. I'm not a big fan of yellow vinyl, but since I love this album so much, I wanted all these limited edition colored vinyl editions. The only one I don't have is the red. There is a red vinyl version out there I gotta hunt for, but nonetheless, I got two of the three colors. I got the blue, now I have the yellow, and if I can track it down, we will get the red vinyl version of this album, and I will have them all. And I'm not in a big hurry to do that, but if I see it, I will pull the trigger, definitely. But like I said, in my opinion, I think this is their best album. It's definitely their most successful album because of the songs Crazy and Electric Blue, but Nothing Too Serious, Man of Colors, great songs. My Kingdom, My Obsession, The Kingdom, My Obsession, also great songs. So, a damn good album, a very damn good album. It sounds great on this special edition, special limited edition. It sounds great. Wonderful mix, real full sound. I mean, they produce some... Ice House on this album, they produce a really great sounding record as far as the mix. Again, I'm sounding like an audiophile nerd and I say these things, and I feel like one too, but this thing sounds so good, and the music is very, very well written. Also one of my favorite 80s albums that doesn't really, pretty much never gets talked about. Alright, a 12-inch single. One I've seen in vinyl stores a bunch of times, but never, for some reason, never bought it. I thought, this time, I'll get it. I already know I like the song. Why am I avoiding this? It's from the Cult. She Sells Sanctuary, 12-inch single. Very nice cover there. Very cool. Plays at 45 RPM. Let me get the bifocals here because all this space that they can print lettering on, but they use the smallest text to do it. Jeez, like, and my old eyes can't see it. So the Howling mix on side 1, which is the 12-inch 12-inch mix. It's very 80s sounding. These 80s remixes on the 12-inch singles, they're hit and miss. Some are great, some are... This one's kind of on the border in between. But they do have the 12-inch mix on side 2, which sounds a lot better, and I really like it. I actually prefer the one on the B-side better than the Howling remix. And the song Little Face on side B. Really cool 12-inch single. like I said, every time I go digging, I do see it. And for some reason, I always passed on it. So why not? I know I like the song. It's one of my favorite songs from the Cult. That and Fire Woman. So I'm glad I got it finally, after all this time. I think since I first joined the VC, I've been seeing this in record stores almost every dig I do. So I don't know what it was. This was the month I decided to finally pull the trigger on it. All right, we're going to end with some comedy. I don't have many comedy records. And I saw this in the store, so I thought, what the hell? Sam Kinison, Louder Than Hell. This was his first comedy album, I believe. And this guy is hilarious. This guy, but you got to be from the 80s to remember him. A lot of younger people probably have no idea who Sam Kinison is. Very popular stand-up comedian back in the 80s. I was very lucky to see him, his stand-up live in St. Carlos, a venue called the Circle Star, which I don't think is there anymore. It was, not only was Sam Kinison just beyond hilarious that night, the comedians that opened for him, which were known as the Outlaws of Comedy, they were just as funny as Kinison. So that was a night of just belly laugh after belly laugh after belly laugh. To the point where you're slobbing all over yourself. That's how funny this guy was. And then he died, I think, 6 months after I saw him. Maybe a little bit longer. It was not a year. So I caught him when, you know, he had already kind of cleaned up his act, and he wasn't really drinking and taking drugs anymore. He kind of gave that life up. And then he died not too long ago after seeing him. But man, was he hilarious. That was one, just seriously, one of the best comedy shows I've ever been to. The most I ever laughed. And I do miss this guy. I wish he had lived a little longer. This is a great comedy album if you've never heard it. He does some really funny bits on here. My favorite always will be his comedy bit on world hunger. Look it up on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Just look up Sam Kinison, World Hunger. That is like one of my favorite bits from him. God, this guy was hysterical. Unfortunately, I mean, he made a few movies. He made a movie with Rodney Dangerfield, Back to School. He never had a starring role himself, which I thought was too bad. I thought he could have done well in the films, but he did great as a stand-up comedian. All right, that's going to be it there. Just a short, quick video to show some finds. Small dig, but man, was it a good dig. Found some great stuff. Love listening to those. All those records are fantastic. All right, that's going to do it. Leave me some comments so we can talk about what I showed you. I just like hearing from you guys. It's always cool to get comments and messages from you guys, so please keep them coming. That's going to do it. Until next time, I'll see you then.